Hi everyone, it's a new week and I have a new video for you, and today we are going to refinish together this dining table. I have it again in my stuff for a couple of months or maybe for a year, I think, and I was just moving it around because dining table are not very demanded on my marketplace, but this one I'm thinking that maybe I will keep it for myself. This piece is in a pretty good condition, but there is one thing that bothers me a little bit, and it looks like a wood worm, this hole here. So first of all, I'm going to clean it very good, let it completely dry, and then I'm going to apply a treatment just to make sure that I won't have any surprises with any woodworms. It also has some damages here. I damaged it by trying to move it around, but this is something that I hope I can fix pretty easily. So let's get started. Let's get started with cleaning. I have here some Dixie Belle's White Lightning dissolved in water. I'm going to sprinkle it all around my table, and then I'm going just to clean everything with the microfiber cloth, rinse everything, and then we are done. So guys, the top it's now totally dry, and now I'm going to use something against the woodworms. Remember, I live in Germany. This is what I have from my hardware store. So the instructions said you need to give it a good shake before applying it, and also I recommend you to read carefully all the instructions on your product, because especially when you are using stuff like this. So I'm going to use cheap brush, because you don't want to ruin any good brush, and I'm going to apply it all over my top and let this dry overnight. And for that part where I noticed the hole from the woodworm, I'm going to use a syringe to push some product inside the wood. So now it's time to pay some attention to the base and the legs. So guys, these are super shiny and super slick, and I'm going to scuff sand everything with some 100 grit sandpaper just to have some extra adhesion. So I could use some bonding primer, but the thing is that I'm going to paint this in a darker color, and to be honest, I just want to avoid putting a lot of coats of paint on my piece. So it's nothing wrong with putting an extra coat, but I just want to save myself some time, and I'm going just to scuff sand everything. So now it's finally time to paint, and I'm going to paint the base with the black sands from the silk mineral line from Dixie Belle. Before starting to paint, I removed all the dust. I cleaned my piece with a damp microfiber cloth just to be sure that I have a nice and clean surface, and I also allow it to dry. It's very important to let your finish dry before applying paint, because this may cause some problems like your paint crackle and stuff like this. So you don't want to deal with all this mess afterwards, because prepping your pieces takes a lot of time, and sometimes and for some steps you cannot skip. I also cleaned my floors because it was dust everywhere, and I don't want any of this dust particle to land up in my finish. Now, enough chit chat. I'm going to stir my paint because it's also very important to make sure that all the components of the paint are brought together. So the good stuff about this paint, guys, is that it doesn't require top coat. But anyway, for this particular piece, because it has also that stuff, and I'm pretty sure the people will keen to put their foods on, I'm going to seal everything with some furniture wax. And for this line, you don't need water. Anyway, if you feel like your paint is too thick and you cannot work properly with it, you can moisture your brush from time to time, but do not exaggerate. And of course, as always, just work with small amounts of paint, especially when your piece has so much details like mine has. It's very important to work with really small amounts of paint, because this way you will avoid creating any drips and buildups, and to be honest, they don't look aesthetic. I know you see some brush strokes at this point, but this paint levels out just fantastic. So don't worry, once it's going to dry, it's going to level up very beautiful. And also don't forget to keep your hand light, because this is another secret, if I can call it like this, to minimize your brush strokes. So the lighter your hand is, the less brush strokes you will get. And also, of course, you won't get full coverage with only one coat. You will have to put at least two, depending on original color of your piece. So I assume for this one, because the original finish is pretty dark, 2 coats are going to be enough, but yeah, let's see. So I allowed everything to dry for a couple of hours, depending on the environment, if it's cold or if it's warm. So for the second coat, I'm adding a mist of water from time to time. Every time I feel like my paint is not sliding well enough. Also because I want to apply thin coats again, and I'm going for a nice and smooth finish. Another trick, guys, to get a smooth finish is your brush. You should definitely use a synthetic bristle brush, and I'm using now the flat medium brush, I think it's called, by Dixie Belle. They are pretty pricey, but I have to confess that they are doing my life so much easier. On the other hand, I know I told this before, you don't have to have necessarily a lot of fancy tools. So pretty good quality synthetic bristle brush will do its job. Now I'm going to let this dry overnight, and I will come back tomorrow to see if I need more coats. But from what I see right now, and it looks just amazing, I think these 2 coats are enough, but let's see tomorrow. So I'm done with sanding. I sanded everything with 80, sorry, then with 120 grit sandpaper, and then with 240 to smooth everything out. Now I'm going to sand one more time everything with again 240, and this is because, guys, this wood is very soft. So even sanding with grit like 240 with your sander can cause some small scratches and stuff like this. So I will go lightly with my hand over, just to make sure that my surface is nice and smooth and there are no sanding marks. My surface is nice and dry because I cleaned it very well with the vacuum, and then I removed any dust excess with the with microfiber cloth. Now it's time to stain this beauty. I'm a little bit afraid and excited at the same time to see how it's going to look. So I'm going to use No Paint Gel Stain in the color Espresso by Dixie Belle. I'm wearing a glove because you don't want to work with this product without a glove, and I also give the product a very good stir before applying. So I'm going to apply this with a microfiber glove. Here's some stain excess, and I'm going to work with pretty much small amounts of stain, and I'm applying this with the wood grain direction. This is very important when working with stains. So now I'm gonna remove a little bit of excess because I feel like it's a little bit too dark, but all in one it's looking beautiful. So my stain is applied, guys. It's a little bit darker than I was expecting, but I'm gonna let this dry for about 72 hours because I want to top coat it. Although it has an incorporated top coat, this is a dining table and it needs some extra protection. So because the top coat I'm going to use is water based and the stain is oil based, I will have to let this completely dry. So once it's dry, I will come back here and I will top coat it. And we are done here, guys. This piece is just amazing. I love it so much and I received a lot of compliments. I want to mention something. This piece is sitting in my dining room for over a year now. So long took me to make this video, but it held amazing. I have a couple of superficial scratches. I need to figure out how to get rid of them, but other than that, it's just amazing. And it's not only the quality of the paint, guys. It's about the prep work, and this is why so important to prep your piece properly, because it doesn't matter how good your paint is. If your surface is not well prepared, your paint is not going to last. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.